That's my best friend.
Here we are again a year later. Are we actually surprised? This video isn't going to be a summary of Tati's video since I'm sure there are hundreds of videos already on it. Instead, it will be me breaking down a lot of what she says and poking holes into a few of her claims. Let's begin with why she posted it now. It was definitely a calculated decision putting out a video demonizing Jeffree and Shane at a time where their names are already being dragged through the dirt. It makes sense. Side note, I'm not going to go onto the stuff surrounding Shane and Jeffree right now since that's a whole nother video in itself. But putting out a video where she places all blame on the two of them would not have been taken well a few months ago. But now when people have been informed of both Jeffree and Shane's dark past, people are more inclined to believe her. Tati builds the image and narrative as though she is the victim, forgetting that she's a grown-ass woman who befriended a 17-year-old when she was 38. She is not the victim, people do not fall for it. But let's actually get into the video.
It's been a long time coming for me to share with you some very, very important things.
We are literally 5 seconds in and she's already forcing a cry. Come on, there are no tears. I'm getting real Laura Lee vibes here. By starting the video like this, she is already setting the scene of please feel sorry for me, this is a hard video for me to make. It's terrible acting, but also she looks astonishing. Like, wow.
Getting into what I need to share with you guys today, what I feel is important to share with you, I won't be deviating, and it's at the advice of my legal counsel. So
the mention of legal stuff is kind of humorous since, reminder people, this is the beauty community. Now I assume that she's going to sue Jeffree and Shane for damages even though she made a bucket load of money from Shane literally peddling her vitamins. And sure, there may have been emotional damage there, but she decided to make the video. Nobody else forced her to. By having a script, it shows that this was something she's been planning for a while, which is fine. But we are getting a new Tati here, someone who's not here to play games, which only thickens the plot.
And I just ask that you press pause for a moment and even just for 10 seconds, just cover this in prayer because there is so much healing that needs to take place. There was a lot of injustice and there's a lot of truth that needs to come forward.
Honestly, how dramatic can you be? I'm not purposefully trying to be mean, but it's laughable. We have actual issues going on in the world, like Yemen, police brutality, a pandemic, and this very rich lady is now telling us to cover her video in prayer. Come on, I wish you could write this stuff. What a mess.
I'm an imperfect person, and I do my best to be caring, kind, and loving, and I screw up and I make bad choices.
Yes, the one good thing that she's finally said, she is not perfect, but nobody expected her to be.
And I feel it won't ever have the opportunity to completely heal until I uncover the truth from all parties involved and their motivation of it all. For over a year now, every time the scandal is revisited, either in the mainstream media or through social platforms, I become the #1 target of relentless hate while remaining voiceless. I've lost over a year of my life terrified of social media and terrified of speaking up against the people that used, coerced, and manipulated me into uploading my video in May of last year.
She literally started all of this. Nobody expected her to make a video on her so-called bestie, James Charles. But she did. She decided to sit there, think of arguments to help her case. She did her makeup, turned on a camera, edited it, and put it out. And didn't take it down until YouTube asked her to do so. There wasn't any remorse there. Honestly, it doesn't matter if Shane and Jeffree legit wrote the script for her. She's still a grown woman who has been in the business for years, who knew the true heart of James, as she claims. She decided to make that video, which of course would ruin James's life.
As a result, the damage to my health, relationships, reputation, business, and general well-being have been enormous. Our world seems to be falling apart all around us, so the last thing you need me to do is fuel more hate by releasing my receipts and voice memos.
The tease of evidence. In her mind, it's, I won't release anything to fuel this fire, but know that I have stuff. I know she notes further on in the video that there will come a time when she can put the evidence out, as in when her legal case is ready.
But I am being careful here, and I think you guys understand why. Back in December 2019, after Shane and Jeffree's series ended, James Charles came to my LA home, and we compared DMs, texts, and stories about what had happened behind the scenes. We apologized to each other, forgave each other, and agreed to wait patiently until it was safe for me to share my story. Since that night, James Charles has repeatedly said that he wanted to be beside me for this video.
This idea of safety is something that's alluded to throughout the video. I don't get what she's hinting at. Does she think Jeffree will come for her or some crazy fan? It's also interesting to hear that James has seemed to co-sign the video. Of course, this is just her words, but from his tweets, it does seem like he's not against the Tati video.
It's important for you to know that I love James Charles. He has a special place in my heart, and that never changed, even when I was hurt. I promised my dad I wasn't gonna cry.
Yes, you can love people even when they do wrong, but the video she made showed no sign of love. If she truly cared about him, she would have dealt with her worries about James privately and not needed the opinions of millions to attack a 19-year-old. I don't believe she loved James back then or even now. She's only changing her mind after realizing she got it all wrong. Why not have a sit-down convo with him rather than crying about vitamins? And yes, I know it's not all about her vitamins, but that was the tipping point.
James Charles has made his fair share of mistakes, but I always believed in him. However, prior to the scandal last May, I'd started growing frustrated with what I perceived as a progressing sense of entitlement. None of my concerns became overwhelming until after I met Shane Dawson. And I never said that James Charles was a danger to society. My video was not made with any malice.
Her stating that the video wasn't made with any malice makes no sense. She may have somehow made it up in her mind that she was trying to do it for the greater good or to help James. But no, it was selfish. Could have helped the victim speak out. Something just isn't adding up here. But why didn't she do more? If she truly cared, she would have built a case and tried to take it to the police.
And manipulation a mile away, but my guard was down from being heartbroken, and I allowed myself to be worked by Shane, Jeffree, and others.
Displacing blame yet again. This idea of being worked is a strange term to use since she's only known Shane for a few months and she wasn't close to Jeffree since they only met 2 years prior, but still decided to listen to them over the guy she mentored for years and did her makeup at her wedding.
I only privated my video at the request of YouTube because YouTube said it was a bad look for their platform. James, I am so sorry that I allowed myself to be poisoned and weaponized against you. I'm sorry that I bought into any of their lies.
Well, she hit most of my points here, but she's apologizing for being poisoned against him, not sorry for the actual video.
I should have known better than to fall for their lies and manipulation, and instead I allowed Shane and Jeffree to put a wedge between our friendship.
Shane and Jeffree did not put the wedge in between your friendship. Tati, you did that on your own. The moment you believed said allegations is the moment you built doubt in this so-called friendship. This is on you. I see it as if someone said detrimental stuff about a loved one of mine, I would then go and ask them. I get she said that she wanted James to put his phone down, and I don't doubt that he had a big ego because he was literally thriving at that moment. But if my loved one didn't cooperate, I wouldn't then go blast them online. It just doesn't seem right. She's presenting herself as this holier than thou person who is good-hearted, but I just see someone who dipped her toe into the drama, saw it backfired, and backpedaled.
Don't mind me, I'ma just grab my stuff and leave.
And instead of taking accountability, it's let's play the victim card.
I learned that being friends with Jeffree Star was like being friends with a lion. Yes, he may have been dangerous, but he was always really kind to me. From time to time, I would see improvements, which were followed by setbacks thereafter, but overall, I thought he was growing as a person, and again, I thought I could be a good example for him.
A good example. It almost seems like she views herself as the person who can change people, even if they don't feel the need to change. Being a good example is what you are to a younger brother or sister. Jeffree is a grown adult and has this beauty empire. I don't think his viewpoints would have been affected by the way Tati presents herself. I don't understand why she feels the need to enter the role as the carer or the good one, helping people out of darkness.
Though I recognized this pattern, any suspicion that I had of being used was clouded by the hope that he actually cared for me. One thing that he did that did concern me a lot was how he would frequently comment about how much dirt he held on other brand owners and members of our YouTube community. I believe that he actually held blackmail material on many people and was capable of destroying the entire community. This worried me about him, and I stayed and I tried my best to be a positive influence.
I don't doubt that Jeffree is manipulative. I feel like every CEO and successful business person plays dirty to get what they want. Jeffree and James had the monopoly over the beauty community on YouTube, so for Jeffree to have insider info on people that can destroy them seems right up his alley.
And told him how deeply I feel for others. He shared with me that he was an empath and that he could feel all of my pain. He pledged his unending friendship and loyalty to me forever in this life and in the next one.
Shane Dawson says this a lot, that he is an empath, which I assume he just googled and labeled himself. Quick search says that empaths are highly attuned to other people's moods, good and bad. They feel everything, sometimes to an extreme. They take on negativity such as anger or anxiety, which can be exhausting for them, and apparently it's very rare to be one. I can kind of see it with how Shane surrounds himself with toxic people because he sees the good in them and feels their pain, but I don't think he's an actual empath, because I don't think someone who would do the things that he's done in his past, or even some of the comments he made in his Jake Paul series, would be an empath, or even his explanation of why he's leaving the beauty community. More specifically, James Charles deserved a piece of humble pie. Doesn't sound too empathetic to me.
Why would Shane Dawson, the king of truth on YouTube, be turning against James Charles unless these things he was saying were true? Shane said that James Charles was a monster. Over the course of the next few weeks, he and Jeffree fed me so much information that I felt sick. Shane Dawson didn't just know about my Bye Sister video. He offered to help edit it. He even offered to design the thumbnail and help title it.
I do get her point here, and until the Bye Sister video, Shane was seen as the king of YouTube that people loved for his videos, so I do get why Tati would think that Shane was a trusted source. Shane offering to help with this video is really sneaky, and then to act shocked about the video shows how good his acting skills are, and in the end he acted like he was sick of all the drama and tried to keep as quiet as he could.
The night before I did film, Jeffree sent me what he claimed was an audio file from an alleged victim and told me to listen to the pain in their voice. It was enough to scare me.
Said voice memo is something that Jeffree has flaunted not too long ago on the Mum's Basement podcast, where he was so eager to show his evidence to face Banks, which doesn't feel like he was helping the alleged victim, but actually just trying to save face and make himself out as the good guy.
It's now my opinion that Jeffree and Shane were both bitterly jealous of James Charles's success. Jeffree resented that so much of his business was centered around his biggest rival, and Shane did not like that James Charles wanted to make a documentary. Jeffree and Shane needed James marginalized and out of the way for their November launch of the Conspiracy Palette.
Most of these YouTubers are self-obsessed because they think they have the it factor. James was thriving and it was obvious that the tides would eventually change. Not too long after, Shane responded. Let's just say it was a bad response and we got to see the real Shane, the one who wasn't calm and collected.
This is insane. This is insane. I'm losing my mind.
So how is it that so many editorial outlets knew that something was coming before I...
Because you message drama channels! Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, then why would you make a video on the matter claiming these allegations?
Because I can't. I don't want to say mean things about people. This is insane. Oh my god.
Terrifying.
You are so manipulative.
To think of facing public...
You're fake crying. You are fake crying. You are fake crying. That is not real. Oh my god.
People are calling him out for being rude about Tati, but I think he was pointing out that by adding that, she is being manipulative. Since the scandal wasn't about that, it was meant to be about James. It seems like Shane was trying to out-victim her as if it's a competition. He also tweeted and deleted this, and his fiance Rylan chipped in, which isn't typical at all. But the eeriest thing is that Jeffree has stayed silent, and this is shocking. He is so quick to jump on Snapchat, Instagram, and talk about literally everything. So for him to stay silent about this and about his past coming up, it's really alarming. I assume he also has legal counsel, or maybe he has no rebuttal. Who am I kidding? Him and Shane are devising something, I'm sure. I've seen a few videos of people saying that Jeffree is distancing himself from Shane. I don't believe that. I think they're tied together at this point. What's interesting is that people are putting a lot of the blame on Shane Dawson because it's expected that Jeffree is shady, but not good old Shane. The reason I haven't picked any sides is because I want to wait for their responses. Also, there are much bigger issues in the world. I am so glad that the comment section is seeing how frivolous this video is. Here are a few comments from Tati's video. Shifting blame is not apologizing. the next one. It's times like this I thank God I have a normal life. Honestly, are you not tired of this? This is embarrassing to say the least. There are real things going on in the world that are more important than a group of adults acting childish. You'd gain much more respect if you just come out and say you admit you were wrong and nobody else is to blame for your actions or words. Time to be an adult, not a child tattling at school. I like to believe that these comments aren't Shane and Jeffree fans, but people that can actually see this nonsense from a mile away. The like to dislike ratio is very similar. When I'm recording this, it's at 337,000 dislikes and 392,000 likes. People are getting smarter and not falling for it, luckily. Anyway, that is the end of the video. I hopefully will make another video when Shane finally properly responds, but other than that, a link to where you can donate to Yemen will be added, and yeah, I hope you have a great day.
Oh my god!